My name is Andreas Wildfang from EYZ Media here in Berlin, and we are assisting the Cinémathèque des Réalisateurs in bringing LACINETEK to Germany. And as of 2 p.m. today, it has been launched at LACINETEK.de.
Hi, so I'm Jean-Baptiste Viau. I'm the general manager of La Cinémathèque des Réalisateurs, which is the association on which La Cinétèque is based on. So the origins of the project, you have to go back to 2014 when three French movie directors, so I'll name them Pascal Ferrand, Cédric Lapiche and Laurent Canté, gathered together in the frame of a meeting at the SRF, which is the Société des Réalisateurs de Film. And they had a meeting with Alain Roca, who was the president of Universiné, and they talked with him about the absence of classic movies in the frame of a legal streaming platform in France. And they were saying, so yeah, before we had television, we had movie theaters that showed movie classics, and this was the way we could watch classics. Now we can't anymore. It's hard to find them on DVD. It's hard to find them in the movie theaters, and of course, it's really hard to find them on television. So they thought about this idea of bringing the classic movies to a VOD platform. So of course, they had the idea of the editorial aspect, so to speak. They would be the curators, but they didn't know how to bring it to life technically, So this is why Universiné on one side and La SRF, represented by these three movie directors, got together, they came together and funded this association called La Cinémathèque des Réalisateurs with a unique goal, which was to bring to life LACINETEK.com, which was the first VOD platform in France to be solely dedicated to the greatest movies of the 20th century. And so the original concept was, and still is today, that every month a new director, and they can be from anywhere in the world, gives us the list of 50 favorite movies from the 20th century. And there's no rule. It can be a short movie, a feature, it can be animation, it can be experimental movies, whatever. The only rule is that it's been produced before the year 2000 included.
And what was the situation in Germany in terms of VOD and platforms?
Well, there is no
competition
platform.
No? Is there any competition here?
Not in the range of presenting classic movies.
No.
I think in Germany the situation is just like as it is all over Europe. The market is dominated by the international VOD platforms, and the German players have a hard time, but it is the specialized platforms that actually show the most significant growth in the market. May that be genre or independent film or art house, or we are fairly confident of with film classics.
And what is your objective in terms of members? Are you going with subscription-based, monthly, or all year? How does it work?
LACINETEK.de is solely transactional as of now, but we will most likely establish a SVOD segment within LACINETEK.de, but it will be a curated SVOD segment, just as it is done in France. But that is not going to come, I would say, before autumn 2019, though we haven't really nailed it down on the month.
And what is in terms of a breakdown of revenues, how do you deal with the chain of rights?
So most of the time, and this is almost a rule actually, we work by a revenue share with licensors. So
like 1/3 each, or what you?
No, it's pretty much 50-50 most of the time, but it depends on the licensors and of course and of the movies from time to time. And with majors, for example, it's hard to work with revenue share. So we have a few exceptions, namely with Warner, for example. But this being said, with Sony, we work on revenue share, for example.
And are you offering your platform to other platforms as well, or the films that you're showing, you can only watch them at your place, or are you working with other
No, we're not working with
Like
other platforms
White
in the
Brand,
sense
you
that
know?
we don't sub-license or
No, you don't.
sub-distribute the movies. We don't do that. This being said, actually, in France, we have over 1,000 movies that are available now on the platform. And on these 1,000 movies, like more than 250 watchable only on LACINETEK. And this is in France. I don't know what the situation in the rest of Europe is, but in France, like 1/4 of the movies we have on the platform are only available on our platform.
I do remember when we worked with the people that founded the Université at the time, and they were convinced that, and so were we, because we founded filmfestivals.com, founded the platform years ago and stopped that. But we were convinced that we needed to show more than just the film, just like an EPK, interviews, things like that. Are you offering that kind of
Yes,
behind-the-scenes stuff? And
We have a partnership in France with Lina, and probably we're going to have the same kind of partnership with the Deutsche Kinemathek in Germany.
Yes.
That they provide us with movie clips from like TV shows from the past. For example, in France we had like Cinéma or Ciné Regard, the Ciné Club de Claude Jean-Philippe. So this actually accompanies the movies that are available on the platforms to give the viewer some insight on the movies as well, you know, some context on when the movie was made and what the director had to say at the time, because the director might not be alive anymore, for example. And also the directors, the curators, they give us some movie clips that we produce and that we shoot with them, explaining why they chose such and such movie in their list and why it's an important movie to them, why they decided that it should make the top 50 of the list, and maybe why it inspired them to do movies.
right.
For example. Yeah.
And who are the directors who are curating these monthly section? What are the names of recently?
So the thing is, every month there's a new director that gives
Yes.
us the list, but then the list stays on, you know? It
Right.
doesn't disappear after a month.
Right.
It keeps adding to one another, you know? So the whole catalog is comprised of the list of
Right.
new directors coming every month. And
So
we have
who were
65
the-
at the time, so I'm not going to be able to name them all, but we have, of course, the three founders, Pascal Ferrand, Laurent Cantet, and Ulrich Klapisch.
Yes.
Here in Germany, we have Wim Wenders, Marinade, Christian Petzold, and Christoph Orhäusler. We have also James Gray in the US, Agnès Varda in France, Agnès Jaoui in France. We have Lynn Ramsey in the UK. We have Miguel Gomez in Portugal. We have Joachim Trier in Norway.
You have
and
Aki
so on and so on.
Kaurismäki, for
Aki
example,
Kaurismäki, yeah.
William Fredkin. So it's a pretty wide range of curators, I would say.
Strong names. So why did you pick Berlinale to make this announcement? Was it just because you have many journalists, or was
No, it's because we are in a partnership with the Deutsche Kinemathek, and to make our start special, we were allowed to show a selection of the current retrospective on LACINETEK on the day of the launch. So as we launch today, we have 6 films from the retrospective that we show live on LACINETEK, and so I think that is a good reason to be here.
Of course, wonderful. So long life to LACINETEK, and what's the LACINETEK.de
And .com.
and .com. All right. Thank you for talking to filmfestivals.com.